Hello! It's been so long since I have uploaded anything on this channel that I don't even know what to say. I've been working on one video and then I realized that I absolutely hate it. So I made this one, and since it's October, I've decided to come back with the list of some of my all-time favorite films to watch to get into the spirit of the spooky season. The Haunted Mansion. I remember watching this as a child with my family, and I absolutely loved it. It's a very light-hearted, family-friendly film. It has some funny parts and some spooky parts, which I remember scared the crap out of me back then. It will always be one of my childhood favorites. Lights Out. Now onto something more serious. I remember watching this for the first time and I really liked it. It has a good story with some well-placed scares. It is one of those films that really focuses on a phobia that I actually used to have, which is fear of the dark. I think it's a perfect horror film to watch with friends or family. If you've never seen it before, definitely do so. It's a must, especially if you are a horror fanatic like myself. The Woman in Black. I also remember watching this for the first time and I thought it was brilliant. I could definitely feel the English heritage throughout the film. Daniel Radcliffe's acting was surprisingly good. It has quite a few cheesy jump scares, but overall, I really like the tense and eerie atmosphere, really worth of attention when it comes to watching a really nice horror movie. Oculus. This film is definitely in my top list of the best horror films I've ever seen. It is so clever and feels so realistic. It is this type of film that in the end will leave you sort of speechless. It will make you question reality and your own sanity. And that is what I love about it, really. It is a very unique horror movie with a great plot. It will definitely give you the chills. For those who love horror and twists, it's a must-watch. Silent Hill. I have seen many great horror films, but this one will always have a special place in my heart. The ending of this hauntingly beautiful film is mysterious and makes you question a lot. I seriously love everything about it. It is super creepy with an amazing soundtrack, a really high class, high quality, and has a marvelous story. Love it. Trick or Treat. This film will definitely get you into the Halloween spirit, but it is honestly the weirdest movie I have ever seen. It was pretty scary and I was definitely too young to watch it back then because when I first saw it a few years ago, I didn't understand a thing. I didn't know what was going on. But it is a fantastic film and very creative in my opinion. It has interconnected stories that eventually lead to a bloody ending. Let's just say that. Definitely a must-watch for this October. The Babadook. This is definitely one of the best psychological films ever made, in my opinion. I found it truly scary and very intense. It will make you question the actual monster and why things are the way they are. But in the end, things sort of just put together and you understand what is up. The ending really explains everything. It is not your typical jump scare horror movie. The horror actually lies in the inside. It is definitely a must-watch for all lovers of the horror genre. Hocus Pocus. This film will definitely set a lighthearted, Halloween-y atmosphere. It is so enjoyable to watch. I personally like to put it on while carving a pumpkin or something. It has a good dollop of comedy in there and overall, such a childhood classic. Hocus Pocus is a fabulous film and perfect for setting up fun Halloween mood. The Addams Family. This film takes me way back. The first time I saw it, I couldn't fully understand it because I was obviously too little. but it's a definitely fun and lighthearted film. It has a few little scenes that might make it a little bit awkward if you want to watch it with your family, just so you know, because I didn't. It's this type of film that you should watch at least once in your life. The Conjuring. When it came out, I was barely into my teens. I remember first time watching it with my friend on her big TV, and it scared the crap out of us. And I also remember finding out that it was based on a true story, and that made the film 100 times scarier. I honestly had a trouble sleeping for a few nights after watching it. The Conjuring has many other parts, but to me personally, this first part is the best. It's just a perfect scary film to watch. Beetlejuice. Another classic. I remember this being on TV while I was getting ready somewhere, and I didn't even know what Halloween was back then, nor I understood what the film was about. Yes, I came from a country where Halloween was not celebrated. I decided to watch it again last year, and honestly, I really liked it. It has lots of funny moments. The scenes with an actual Beetlejuice can be a little bit inappropriate for little children, just to warn y'all. If you haven't seen it, definitely give it a watch. Nightmare on Elm Street. This is such a classic. I am a huge Freddy Krueger fan, and in my opinion, this first part is the best out of all other Freddy Krueger films. The whole concept and the story is really well told and executed in my opinion. This film was definitely a success for how it was in the 80s. It's a horror classic and always will be. I've watched it so many times and it never gets old. I just love it and definitely recommend to watch. Ghostbusters. I'm sure many of you heard of the word Ghostbusters at least once in your lifetime. I remember watching it on the TV as a kid and I absolutely loved it. A real classic, has a memorable theme song and has comedy in it. I think the graphics were really good for the 1980s. This film is very entertaining, a good story and just simply legendary. Halloween. Definitely had to include this to the list. It's another old classic horror film. It offers a frightfully fun time with the central plot and characters of the story. It's pretty smooth and interesting, good film to put on in the background while doing something like decorating your room for Halloween. There's a sequel for this film that came out last year, which I haven't seen yet, so I'm very excited to give it a watch and see if I like it. Coraline. And now to my absolute favorite stop-motion animated film. When I first watched it, I instantly fell in love. This movie is perfect to me. The plot, the characters, the soundtrack, everything. The animation is so beautiful and well done. Certain scenes still creep me out whenever I watch it, and I love it. This is a true movie that spells be careful what you wish for, and I absolutely love the idea behind it. If you've never seen this masterpiece, give it a go. Since I've mentioned only one animated film, I'd like to add these favorites of mine as a bonus. I love these and think they're great for the spooky season or even all year round. That is it for my top horror fantasy films to watch this October. There are many more great horror films that I haven't mentioned, which I probably forgot about, but these were the ones that came up in my mind when I was creating my list. Leave in the comments which is your favorite horror film to watch, and if you don't like watching horror films, then how did you end up watching this video until the end? That is what I want to know. Leave a like if I've mentioned any of your favorites, and I will see you next week. That is for sure.